Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Saturday. Guys, welcome to the second channel. Boom, right there. There you go. We're back to talk about the Chrisleys because we have a Chrisley crisis when it comes to the girls, the sisters. It looks like we're not playing very nice. And honestly, with all of the stress on them right now, I'm not shocked by this. Lindsie Chrisley and Savannah. We're going to get into all of it. But before we do, you guys know how this works. Do all the YouTube things, hit that like button, show some love, and let's jump right into this ish show.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, you guys. So I love a good Chrisley update, but I feel like this family really is reality TV gold in the sense that last time we talked to you guys, we found out that Savannah is dating a man. His name is Robert Shiver. She announced this on the Vile Files podcast with Nick Vile, who was the former bachelor. And she said, yes, I'm dating somebody. He said, is he famous? She's like, not really, but kind of, but for the wrong reasons. Well, famous because his ex-wife tried to have him axed, done, killed, out of here. That's like, well, it's definitely not normal. But wait, now Lindsie has a bone to pick. So Page Six ended up putting this out there. Lindsie Chrisley is hitting back at her estranged half-sister Savannah in her shady comments. Lindsie recently posted an Instagram story that reportedly poked fun at their family, which upset Savannah and the former's half-brother Chase. Though Lindsie said on Thursday's episode of her and Kaylin Lowry's Coffee Combos podcast that her upload wasn't meant to be rude or mean, she agreed to delete the post while encouraging her younger siblings to remove themselves from her life. I mean, I think that this is actually, it's not really anything to celebrate. I think that when you have family, you're trying your best at all times. Everybody grows up and they grow into different directions. They have their own families. You start creating your own families. And then it's really hard to keep up with people. Sometimes, even when it's family, you feel a sense of out of sight, out of mind, which is like you're not seeing them a whole lot. So then you're really consumed and focused on what is going on with your own personal life, your own personal family that you're building. And it's easy to disconnect. And I think that's what happened here. But I'm also not Dr. Phil. So wait, Lindsie immediately blocked them and later unblocked them, but there is still bad blood between the sisters. Now, earlier this month, Savannah revealed on an episode of Nick Vile's The Vile Files podcast that she and Lindsie don't speak to each other anymore, explaining that there was more to the fallout than just the latter's social media activity. She and my oldest brother from my dad, Todd Chrisley's first marriage, Kyle Chrisley, my mom, Julie Chrisley, always treated them as if they were hers. They didn't necessarily treat my mom the same. That's what Savannah is saying. But Lindsie then slammed Savannah's claim on her podcast and accused her younger sister of displaying a complete lack of empathy and awareness. Julie could have hung the moon, but she still was not my mother. Lindsie, whose biological mom is Todd's first wife, Teresa Terry, that's what she said. I still had exposure to my mother, and I still had all of those traumas before Savannah, Chase, and Grayson were ever born or brought into that picture. She argued that if it's easy for Savannah to sit and say things without having true life experience and witnessing any of these things, obviously that's a problem. Savannah also alleged on Vile's podcast that Lindsie was very heavily involved in her parents' court case by working with the government. Oh, okay. Interesting. Referring to their indictment on numerous charges of crimes. So Savannah saying that Lindsie assisted the government in helping put Julie and Todd in prison for a combined 19 years. But Lindsie has also been working on her relationship with Todd while he's been in prison, and she's even visited him. Savannah, it's going to be weird, like I have half siblings. I have the same mom with my two brothers. We have different dads. My two brothers have the same dad and I have a different dad. And they don't have the same relationship with my dad that I do. And when it comes to my parents, I'll fight tooth and nail over them. And I will always be on their side, no matter what. Even if you feel wronged or whatever the case is, those are your parents. You get one set, and then one day you wake up and they're not here, right? Jason lost his dad, and I think that you just have to remind yourself that even if there's things that you don't agree with, you have to figure out a way to make it work. This is so early in the morning for this, but wait, it keeps going. So Savannah also, she, after alleging this, she said in the court transcripts that it was said that she had worked with the government for 2 years, but during the trial, certain things she said was like, hey, what the government's saying is not accurate. I just think she got herself in a mess that she tried to find her way out of. That was a difficult way to find her way out of. But before Todd and Julie were charged, Lindsie allegedly informed the FBI that she was truly afraid of her father. And I don't know if you guys remember this. We did a few videos over it, but she testified in favor of Todd Chrisley in the May 2022 trial and retracted her previous claim that he had threatened to extort her with this alleged sex tape of her and her ex-boyfriend, Robbie Hayes, who was also one of the Bachelorette contestants. When it comes to personal life and information and experiences, I just don't think I could ever get to a place of trusting Lindsie with that, just because now I'm left without two parents and she did help to contribute to it. She responded in her chat, this was Lindsie, with Kaylin Lowry. If Savannah feels the need to blame me to move forward with her life and responsibilities, that's okay. She also accused Savannah of acting like the sole person that lost two parents. While I was not a part of my parents' life in the same capacity, there's still a loss. You can't say my loss is greater than your loss or your loss is greater than my loss. That doesn't really apply here. But despite their strained relationship, the ladies have each indicated that there is hope for repair. Savannah said that she would show up for her sister and help her and provide her with whatever help she needed, while Lindsie noted that Savannah knows how to get a hold of her if she wants to work things out privately. I think that they both just don't want to do this in a public forum. However, that's even a contradiction here, because you're like, if you want to do it privately, we'll do it privately. But I'm going to go on the Vile Files and I'm going to go on Kaylin Lowry. Nick is very famous from The Bachelor. Kaylin is very famous for MTV's Teen Mom. So this is the private way that I'm going to do it. No, that's a stupid answer. You both are just being fools. You both are hurt. And you both should probably go to therapy. And who am I to say that anybody needs to go to therapy? I don't know. Honestly, I should probably go to therapy. We all should probably go to therapy, because I'm sure we all have things to work out. But this particular situation is like, you can't say if she wants to work it out privately and then go on a very public podcast that's getting millions of downloads. That doesn't make sense. That's a complete contradiction. You both right now are being immature. You both are publicly bashing each other. I could not even imagine if my family went through this. Like, my family deals with everything privately, and it's just the way that I grew up. And Jason's family is very much so the same way. Things do not make it out publicly, because that is how it should be. Whatever's going on in your home, you deal with it within your home. You don't go on and you don't bash people. Even if you're on a reality show, there are limits, there are boundaries, there are barriers that should not be crossed. And these two are clearly crossing them. And yeah, it's going to make it more difficult for you guys to get along in any capacity. Todd and Julie, whose blended family rose to fame on the reality show Chrisley Knows Best, were found guilty of bank fraud and tax evasion in June 2022, and they reported to their respective prisons in January. Todd was sentenced to 12 years in federal custody, while Julie was ordered to 7 behind bars. However, their sentences were recently reduced by more than a year each for good behavior. And that's where we're at now. Guys, comment below. What are your thoughts? I'm so curious. I love you guys. Happy Saturday, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.